So the IDBI was initially set up as a subsidiary of the RBI. And what happened after that? So in February 1976, IDBI was made fully autonomous. So what is autonomous? They have their own individual operations, so they have the complete liberty to do everything. Okay, so now why was it done? Let me tell you. So it was designed as an apex organization. So let me write down here. It was designed as an apex, or very prime, or right at the top level apex organization in the field of development financing. So wherever the development financing was being taken place, so IDBI was on the first place. However, it was converted in a bank, or into a bank, with effect from October 2004. So before that it was a financial institution, and now then it became a bank. Now let us understand the key function of IDBI. So just let me rub this. Okay, so the key functions of IDBI is first is to provide refinance against loans granted to industries. The second vital point is it subscribed to the share capital. So this much of share capital they have. So they have their share, or they have subscribed some more, or they invested some share capital and bonds to in some other institutions also, and bond issues of other DFIs. Okay, and third vital point is it also acted as the coordinator of DFIs at all India level. So these are the key functions of IDBI. Now we can talk about the next one we will talk about is SIDBI. So let me quickly rub this also. Okay, so we will talk about is SIDBI. So now SIDBI was set up as a subsidiary. What is the meaning of subsidiary? A part. Okay, a subsidiary of IDBI, or a branch you can say, in 1999. Okay, now the SIDBI was designated as an apex organization in the field of small scale finance. Okay, now some more points. The union budget. So when the budget was done, okay, so the union budget of 1998-99 proposed, this is a very important point, proposed the de-linking. So what is delinking? That the linking should not happen of SIDBI from IDBI. So IDBI and SIDBI should be separate, and that is the meaning of delinking. So remove the link, don't keep any link. So that is what they are trying to tell you. So in the Union Budget of 1998, okay, it was proposed that the delinking of SIDBI should be done from IDBI. Okay. Now the next point. So let me just grab this. Okay. Now the key function, if you talk about the key function of SIDBI, the first was to provide assistance to small scale units. Okay. Then the second is initiating steps for technology or technological gradation. So you should be more technological free, or rather computer savvy. So technology should be upgraded. Okay, upgradation. So let me add up here, upgradation. So there must be upgradation. Okay, and modernization, expanding the marketing channel for the small scale industries, product promotion. So there must be product promotion. They also, so SIDBI does that. So provide product promotion, okay, of employment. So promotion of employment also. So they promote employment also. So promotion of employment. So that is, and they also create small scale industry. So say create SSI. So that is small scale industries. Okay, so they also create that. So the main promotion is to see that technology is upgraded. There must be modernization, expanding the marketing channel for the small scale industry, that is called as SSIs. And there must be product promotion and employment promotion of these SSIs, and there must be more and more SSIs created. Okay, so that is the key function of SSI. So these were the vital, as I said, were very, very important all India, as I said, DFIs. Now we will talk about is the next vital chapter, part of the chapter, and that is called is the investment institutions. Okay, yes, so just let me okay, so now we will talk about is investment institutions. So we will study this one by one. Previously we had studied together, but now we will study one by one. We will just check one by one what exactly it is all about. Okay, so we will see the first one. So the first one we will talk about is UTI. Okay, so the UTI was set up on November 1963. So 1963, after Parliament passed the UTI Act. Okay, now what is the objective? Let me write down. The objective was to promote, or you can say to channel, to promote savings of people, and so that they can come into the share market, into equity. So they told that the public should buy more and more equities and corporate debts. Now, the flagship, the most important scheme of UTI, so that is called as flagship. So this flagship scheme of UTI was called as unit, very important, unit scheme 64. Okay, yes, now let me just clear this also. Okay, now in 2002, the Union Cabinet had decided to split UTI. So they decided to split UTI into two parts. Okay, so we'll see that. Decided to split UTI into UTI 1 and UTI 2. What was the result? What was the reason? Because as a result, there was a huge crisis of UTI, of the prolonged crisis in Unit Trust of India, okay, in UTI. So that is why they thought that in 2002 the Union Cabinet had decided to split UTI into two parts, that is UTI 1 and UTI 2. Okay, so now let us talk about the next one, that is the investment institution. The next big institution is LIC. Okay, so we will talk about LIC, Life Insurance Corporation. So LIC. Now LIC has a long history, so remember that. So I would like you to also go through and the LIC, that how it was made up. But I will give you some information. It's a very, very old company, and it's a amalgamation of many Indian and foreign companies. Before 1956, they were all private LIC, life insurance. Small offices and big companies were there. But after independence, most of the British companies, they left India, and some companies didn't want to leave India. Okay, because they had a very good setup in India. So they planned together to amalgamate and make a company called as Life Insurance Corporation of India. So you can see almost 200 companies, private institutions came together to make a public sector unit. Okay, so LIC was set up in 1956. So you can understand it's post independence. Okay, after the insurance business was nationalized. So that is what I was trying to tell you, that previously it was not nationalized. After independence, LIC was the first company to make insurance nationalized. Okay, so nationalized. Previously it was all private. Now what is the objective of LIC? So the objective of LIC is to provide assistance of term loans, subscription of shares and debentures. So debentures are something which are like investment by private people who can invest and give loans to the government companies. So they are called as debentures. So debentures are not the own capital of a company, but they are taken loan from investors. They are called as debentures. And shares, obviously there are two types of shares, that is equity shares, which is like they are a part, all the owners will be the partly owned by the company, so they will also be the company owned. So equity shares is the the real owners of the company, but whereas debentures, they are like banks, they just give loans to the company in the form, and in return they will get some interest. Okay, so subscription of shares, LIC wanted to promote more people should buy shares and debentures. Okay, and also resource support to financial institutions and also provide life insurance, that is called Jeevan Bima. So life insurance coverages. So before there was no life insurance, okay, so there was no term plan for any individual in India. It was all privatized. But as I said, it became nationalized, and then there was also life insurance coverages which were given by LIC. Okay. Now we'll come to the next one, that is GIC. So just let me wrap this. Okay.